Hey, what's going on, YouTube? How are you? Thank you so much for clicking and coming by. I hope you're doing well. Let me always start off with the weather here in Massachusetts. Chilly. It's chilly. I love it. It was beautiful, sunny today, but a crisp. I think it was below freezing this morning. I know that for sure because I was up and out of the house at 3 o'clock, and it was cold. It was 20. Well, let's not say cold. It was chilly, below freezing. Love this weather. I love that sweatshirt weather where this morning I think it was the first time I used a heater in my squatching van, and I just love this weather. So, anyways, how are you? I hope you're doing well. If I probably already just said that, but I wanted to make sure. I hope everyone's doing all right. Thank you definitely for coming by. I've been waiting to do this video, and I hope I'm not doing this premature. I did a little bit of research on this. Probably not enough. But what I've heard about this prior to making this video and prior to doing some research I did for maybe an hour or so on the Google machine and just kind of pulled out some interesting stuff out of the story. That's an ongoing story for a long time. This place is nuts. It reminds me of an area near me, Freetown State Forest, that is just littered with paranormal stuff and UFOs and sightings and animal mutilations and stuff like that. But this area is a condensed 500 and something acre ranch. So I'm going to jump right into it, okay? Now listen, I will say, the reason why I haven't done a video on this is because I'm not all that big into the paranormal, ghosts and orbs and stuff like that. But that was before. And since I've kind of got into this cryptid stuff, a lot of it seems to be related. So I need to expand. I need to open up my mind a little bit more. I'm not a big believer in ghosts or spirits or stuff like that, but I believe that in order for me to get a good understanding of even Bigfoot, that stories related to it, UFOs being related to seeing Bigfoot, and people have reported seeing Bigfoot being like beamed down from a UFO and stuff like that. You know, I always say not everybody's lying. Well, I have to say that about this particular story, about this Skinwalker Ranch. Everybody can't be lying. Something's going on at this joint, and it is frightening. To me, it is. I couldn't imagine living near this joint, right? So, let's jump in here. Skinwalker Ranch. It's also known as the Sherman Ranch. It's a property located on about 512 acres southeast of Ballard, Utah. Utah has got a lot of stuff going on. I'd love to visit Utah. I used to watch Nathan Rio's videos, Utah Sasquatch, and man, boy, he could find sign of Bigfoot like that. I mean, he was one of the jumping off points for me. That channel, Utah Sasquatch, because of the simplicity of how he found sign and eventually ended up, having sightings of Bigfoot on more than one occasion. But I digress. So it's southeast of Ballard, Utah. It's the site of many paranormal and UFO activities. Skinwalker is taken from the Navajo legend concerning witches. The Sherman farm purchased the ranch only to have an array of inexplicable and frightening events occur on their property. Sightings of UFOs, Bigfoot, crop circles, glowing orbs, and poltergeist activity. The ranch borders the Ute Indian Reservation. It has a 50-year history of odd events. This is not an isolated occurrence that happened for a month over at this place. That 50 years of UFOs, creatures, Bigfoot, cow mutilations. Over 100 incidents have been documented here that include vanishing or mutilated cattle, sightings of unidentified flying objects or orbs, large animals with piercing red eyes, that were not harmed when shot. People shot these things with guns, and it did not faze them, is the story that comes out of this Skinwalker Ranch. Invisible objects emitting destructive magnetic fields. That's a first for me. I did never heard of that part. Not to say I don't believe it. I just had that's something I learned just today. I believe many of you guys that follow my channel, you've mentioned it before. I don't know about many. Quite a few comments I've gotten where people say, Dave, do a video on Skinwalker Ranch. So I think most likely a lot of you guys know more about it than I do. And if you have specific, really cool stories, a specific event that happened at this place, just leave it in the comment below. I'll investigate it, and if I deem it badass enough, I'll make a video of it. So the mutilations have been part of the folklore surrounding this area for decades. Now that's all I wrote down for now. This reminds me of the video I had just done about that 10-part series on Bigfoot living on a ranch with a farmer and his family. There's so much information. I thought I would sit here, jot down some stuff, do a 7-10 minute video. No siree, Bob. There is a lot going on here. And from what I gathered from this, the ranch was sold by the Shermans, I believe was the name. Yes, the Shermans had sold this to, I believe, if I remember correctly, I should have wrote it down, of like an investigative or team, a couple of scientists, investigators or something, purchased this ranch to do research and stuff and junk on this place. I mean, that's a big undertaking if you think about it, to slap down a ton of money, although I don't know if the Shermans really wanted to stay there very long, considering about all the stuff that was going on their land. But hugely interesting. I'm gonna dive deep into the story. I wanna get a little deeper into it, but I just wanted to do, I suppose, a little introductory video on this place. And so I think what I find really, really interesting, right? I'm not a big UFO guy, but I will say, me and Big Brother Bob, my brother, when we were kids, I was living, well, it doesn't matter where I was living. I was living in southeastern Massachusetts. And one night, and Big Brother Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, if I dreamt this, but I remember it vividly. We were awakened. We shared a room, bunk beds. And we were awakened by something. We both went to the window. I was probably 10 or maybe 12 years old, right around there. And we looked out the window, and this slow moving, huge cigar-shaped ship was passing through over the back of our house. I don't remember talking much about it with my brother after that. And I'm actually, it's something I never forgot, but I don't tell people about it. And it's weird because it's something I kind of pushed in the back of my mind. But anyways, about the UFO thing. That's the only time I've ever seen anything where I said, that is not a plane. That is something out of this world looking type thing. And I'm not sure why we never spoke about it. Maybe we had, like I said, I was 9, 10, 11, and maybe we spoke about it the next day, and I don't remember it. But I do remember the event, and I remember what that feeling was. I definitely told myself we didn't see it. Like, I kind of thought to myself that didn't happen. But looking back, as I'm older now, looking back, I know what I saw. But sometimes when you can't explain something, you'll dismiss it. So with the UFOs, guys, and glowing orbs, and crop circles. So crop circles are very interesting to me. See, now, with the alien thing with Bigfoot, it kind of seems to go hand in hand. There's something there with that. So I believe that for us as a species to say that there is not another intelligent species in the universe is absolutely Ridiculous. I'm not saying, maybe they can't reach us, they're too far, but to think that we are the only life form in the entire galaxy, or not even galaxy, in the universe, the vast expanse of the universe, I think is foolish to think, because we're not even that advanced. If you think about it, okay, I sometimes will look at some things in our society, in our culture. For instance, telephone poles along the side of the road. We have massive advancements in our society, and yet, really, we have to run electricity on these thick, bulky, gaudy-looking wires exposed over the road. I know that some new developments run their stuff under the ground, but I'm saying that stuff like that's like Stone Age stuff compared to 5G, three-dimensional printers, stuff like that. We are not that advanced. And I believe most of our technology does come from reverse engineering. Fiber optics, I believe, all of a sudden, Roswell, New Mexico, they recover a craft, and all of a sudden, guess what we have? Fiber optics, bending light, and stuff like that. Listen, I'm talking way out of turn here because I don't know enough about it to go into any detail. That's just a little bit of knowledge on UFOs and stuff like that. And I don't talk about UFOs except for maybe when I speak of the Hockomock Swamp. A lot of sightings in the area not far from me about UFOs and glowing orbs and stuff like that. So to say, why is the Skinwalker Ranch story so ridiculous? It's not ridiculous. It really isn't. I'd love to get to the bottom of some of that stuff, but listen, I think that a lot of this stuff is covered up by who, I don't know. I will not say government because that's too big of an umbrella. It's covered up by somebody, something. Someone knows more than they're saying, and that's all I'm going to say on that subject. So there you have it. That's kind of dipped my toe in the water with Skinwalker Ranch and stuff like that. And just something I want to add to the end of this video about Bigfoot and the cover-up of maybe small government entities covering up a actual branch of government that's sole job is to keep secret the existence of Bigfoot. I had kind of an epiphany the other day, and I've gotten comments that say stuff like this about what it would do to religion if Bigfoot came out to be real. That is a very good, valid point. What would happen to religion because of evolution and stuff like that. But I made the argument that, people say, well, there would be lawsuits and nobody would go into the woods. And I have this argument that says, well, there's grizzly bears, mountain lions. There are animals out there that will tear you apart. And yet we still go in the woods. We still hike and camp and backpack and go mountain climbing. And people still get out there knowing that there's grizzly bears and mountain lions and cougars and stuff that can kill you, that'll actually hunt you and kill you. And yet we still do it. Well, I started to think there's some there's a valid point about the powers that be keeping it from us because of our belief system in religion. I think religion keeps people in check a little bit. Sin, right? We don't want to do anything wrong, morality. So, to pull the wool over 7 billion people in the world and say there's no such thing as Bigfoot, there is no coming back from that. That's my opinion. I don't think, you can't just come out now, right, and say, oh, my bad, there is Bigfoot. Jeez, we knew, but we didn't want to say. It's going to take something extraordinary, something spectacular for the existence of Sasquatch to be made public. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking. Give me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment. And I never say this, but like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much, you guys, for your support. You guys are awesome. I'll definitely see you guys on the next one, and thank you so much for clicking.